The Tiger tank wasn't invincible. It was slow, heavy, and constantly breaking down. Yet soldiers across Europe spoke its name like a curse. Some swore it was unstoppable. Others called it Hitler's biggest mistake. So how did one tank become both the most feared weapon of World War II and a symbol of Germany's downfall? World War II wasn't just fought with planes in the sky or ships at sea. It was a ground war, decided by machines of steel and fire. Tanks became the backbone of every army. But in 1942, Germany unveiled a tank that shocked the world, the Tiger Y. Its gun could pierce almost anything. Its armor seemed unbreakable. Its presence turned battlefields into nightmares. But was it really the unstoppable juggernaut history remembers? Or was the Tiger tank one of the biggest myths of the war? By the early 1940s, Germany faced a problem. Their panzers, which had blitzed across Poland and France, were suddenly outmatched. In the east, the Soviet Union rolled out the T-34, fast, rugged, with sloped armor that deflected shells. The Germans were stunned. Their tanks, once kings of the battlefield, were being destroyed by a machine built cheaply and in huge numbers. Hitler wanted revenge. He demanded a tank that would terrify the enemy, something that could restore German dominance. But there was a problem. While the Allies focused on building thousands of tanks, Germany bet its future on one massive, complicated, expensive machine. The Tiger's design came from panic and pride. German engineers at Henschel and Porsche were told to create a super tank. The result was a beast weighing 57 tons, with frontal armor up to 100 millimeters thick. Its 88 millimeter gun wasn't just powerful, it was overkill. Originally designed as an anti-aircraft gun, it could destroy enemy tanks at ranges where the Allies couldn't even see it. But with size came problems. The Tiger guzzled fuel, struggled on bridges, and required constant maintenance. It was less a tank and more a rolling fortress that needed an army of mechanics just to keep moving. The Tiger's first battlefield appearance was near Leningrad. Soviet crews were horrified when their shells bounced harmlessly off the Tiger's armor. Stories spread quickly. If you can see a Tiger, you're already dead. Even Soviet propaganda, which usually downplayed German strength, admitted these machines were dangerous. But behind the scenes, reality was messier. Many Tigers broke down before they even reached the front lines. Some had to be abandoned because they got stuck in mud or snow. The legend of invincibility was born, but the truth was far less perfect. In North Africa, Field Marshal Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, received a handful of Tigers in 1943. British crews were stunned. Their anti-tank guns, which had dealt with Panzer IIIs and IVs, barely scratched the Tiger. Whole units were forced to retreat when just one Tiger appeared. But again, problems followed. The desert heat wrecked engines, sand clogged gears, and Allied bombers targeted supply lines, leaving Tigers stranded without fuel. Crews sometimes had no choice but to blow up their own tank to prevent capture. The Battle of Kursk in 1943 was the largest tank battle in history. Over 6,000 tanks clashed across the Russian plains. The Tiger was Germany's ace card. Its long-range fire shredded Soviet T-34s before they could get close. A single Tiger could hold off entire Soviet units. But Kursk also revealed the Tiger's fatal weakness: numbers. The Soviets had thousands of tanks and endless factories pumping out more. The Germans could field only a few hundred Tigers. Even if each Tiger destroyed 10 T-34s, they were eventually overwhelmed. Kursk proved that one super tank couldn't win against sheer industrial might. For the crews, serving in a Tiger was both an honor and a nightmare. On one hand, they had one of the deadliest weapons in the world. Tiger crews often racked up huge kill counts, becoming legends among their comrades. But life inside was cramped, noisy, and dangerous. The smell of oil and gunpowder was constant. Temperatures inside could rise to unbearable levels. And while the armor was thick, if a Tiger was hit in the right spot, the crew could be trapped inside a burning steel coffin. Crews developed rituals. Some named their tanks. Others painted kill tallies on the barrel. Many believed their survival depended less on the tank itself and more on their mechanics keeping it running. Each Tiger took over 300,000 man-hours to build. Compare that with an American Sherman tank, which took less than 50,000 hours. Germany produced just 1,347 Tiger White tanks during the war. The Allies built nearly 50,000 Shermans. The Tiger was a masterpiece of engineering, but in war, quantity often beats quality. German factories simply couldn't keep up. Worse, every Tiger consumed massive amounts of fuel, which Germany lacked. It became a symbol of German over-engineering. Brilliant on paper, but unsustainable in reality. In 1944, Germany doubled down with the Tiger II, also called the King Tiger. It had even thicker armor and a more powerful gun. On paper, it was unstoppable. In reality, it weighed nearly 70 tons and was plagued with problems. It broke bridges. It broke its own transmission. And by then, Allied air power ruled the skies. Many King Tigers never even saw combat. They were abandoned after breaking down. The Tiger II was a desperate gamble in a war Germany was already losing. Despite its flaws, the Tiger became a legend. Allied troops reported seeing Tigers even when there were none, sometimes confusing smaller panzers for them. Fear magnified its presence. Just the rumor of a Tiger nearby could stall advances. This reputation wasn't just battlefield gossip. It was deliberate. German propaganda portrayed the Tiger as a superweapon, spreading fear to enemies and hope to civilians. In many ways, the Tiger's myth was more powerful than the machine itself. The Tiger's story reaches its climax at the very point where its legend was strongest. In places like Normandy in 1944, Tiger tanks devastated Allied armor. A single Tiger, named 007, commanded by Michael Whitman, destroyed dozens of British tanks in minutes. He became a hero in Germany and a villain in Allied reports. But Whitman's own fate showed the truth. His Tiger was eventually destroyed by Allied fire. Even the deadliest crew in the deadliest tank couldn't stand against the overwhelming numbers and firepower of the Allies. The Tiger wasn't invincible. It was a symbol. Terrifying, but doomed. The Tiger tank remains one of the most iconic weapons of World War II. It was powerful, terrifying, and technically ahead of its time. But it was also overcomplicated, too few in number, and drained resources Germany couldn't spare. In the end, the Tiger shaped the war not by winning it, but by changing how tanks were designed and how soldiers fought. It taught the world that fear itself could be a weapon. But it also taught that no single machine, no matter how advanced, can win a war of numbers, logistics, and strategy. After the war, captured Tigers were studied by the Allies. Museums display them to this day. Some still run, their engines growling like ghosts of a war long past. And every time people see them, they feel the same mix of awe and dread that soldiers once felt on the battlefield. Subscribe for more untold truths of history.